guys? How y'all doing today? Well, baby, if your name is Little Rod, you actually got a victory in court, even though the Twitter Diddy apologists are trying to spin this as a loss. Y'all, let's get into this, because as much as Diddy wants to do a victory dance for a few charges being dismissed from his lawsuit in Little Rod, baby, it is anything but. Let's get into this. First of all, let's just talk about this, right? As much as people want to throw dirt on Tyrone Blackburn's name, Douglas Wigdor got a lot of charges dismissed too off of his case. It happens. Lawyers throw the kitchen sink, things get dismissed. But here's why it is not a win for Diddy at all. And baby, the meat of the case, the real thing that's going to put Diddy away for life, the sex trafficking, baby, that's still on and popping. On top of that, the reason why the RICO charges got dismissed is not because Little Rod didn't have any proof of it. It's the point that the judge was like, okay, but where are the damages? How did you not getting paid that $50,000 really amount to RICO? Now, I'm going to walk you through it and say I think the judge did a really narrow reading of RICO, but baby, it doesn't matter, because if this is Diddy, you going to jail. And the fact of the matter is the judge dismissed a lot of Diddy's corporations, but Diddy is still on the hook for this. Y'all, let's get into this, because a lot of misinformation is being passed around. A lot of people are quote tweeting very specific things about the judge saying this and that. Man, okay. I mean, listen, yeah, the judge can feel how they want, but baby, the meat of the lawsuit passed. And anyone that doesn't say that, oh baby, they don't. Okay, so here's a quick breakdown. I talked to the legal eagles, got a little meat, so listen to the notes, right? This is a quick legal breakdown, all right? The RICO claims off the bat are dismissed. The judge found that Little Rodney Jones, didn't show a direct financial injury from racketeering conduct. The judge essentially said, this is a breach of contract, that you're not getting paid, not a RICO case. Now let's jump in this, right? Why did the judge throw out the RICO claim? There was no direct injury to person or property. Remember I said that one of the big things if you are trying to get injury is not only do you have to show that something bad happened, you have to show about how it messed up your pockets. The RICO requires Little Rod to show a financial or property loss connected to the alleged racketeering. The judge said that Little Rod's only real business loss was not getting paid for producing songs, and that's just a breach of contract, not racketeering. They also said that there was no link between the criminal acts and the contract breach. The judge ruled that things like the alleged sex trafficking, drugs, and violence weren't directly connected to why Jones wasn't paid. I would argue it was. The court basically said you may have a bunch of ugly criminal allegations here, but none of that explains why you didn't get your check for the songs you produced. And they also said the judge didn't see a pattern of racketeering causing the money loss. The judge is stuck on the idea that a RICO pattern, e.g. threats, trafficking, violence, has to directly cause the business loss. They're saying, yeah, Diddy didn't pay you, but that wasn't because of the racketeering. Now, I do think the judge is being ridiculous and way over technical. Again, to me, this is too narrow a reading of RICO, okay? The judge, in my opinion, did ignore the bigger picture where coercion, threats, and alleged criminal activity were part of the power dynamic, and that led to the unpaid labor. And the judges also, and this is sad, and this is where it's like judges need people that know about the industry. The judge is ignoring industry reality. In entertainment, it's often an implied pay-to-play system where people like Diddy can use illegal influence, coercion, and trafficking to control contracts and leverage people. For instance, if Little Rod didn't help Diddy in his going looking for hookers and doing all this stuff and letting Young Miami's cousin rub him up and up, then he felt like he might have had to do that in order to get paid. He might have had to participate in RICO accusations in order to get paid. But there's more. The judge is overlooking the fact that there's often a pay-to-play implied to control contracts and also leverage people. Now, was Little Rod exploited for labor in an environment of organized crime? I believe that is yes, and I believe that directly ties to RICO. And it smells like RICO to a lot of people. Now, the no direct link argument also, to me, feels tone deaf. If you're working under threats, sexual harassment, and trafficking-like conditions, and you don't get paid, isn't that same coercive environment, isn't that same disgusting environment part of the reason why you either didn't demand payment or couldn't demand payment? Isn't this what Don Richards and everybody else that's suing Diddy is accusing him of? The judge's strict reading might seem detached from real world power imbalances. Again, I think it's a double standard because Little Rod is a man. Because celebrities and businessmen always get away with turning businesses into an organized crime playground. But when the victims call the criminal enterprise RICO, courts turn around and say, no, that's just a contract issue. But baby, listen, forget all that because listen, he won on what's important. Fine, you didn't get the RICO. The federal government, and again, the judge did not say there was no RICO. The federal government is charging for RICO. They're just saying, well, Little Rod not getting his money, the judge doesn't think RICO was responsible. Again, it's very tone deaf, but it is what it is. Now let's get into the real thing. The TVPA, SMEX trafficking claims. That is the bulk of the claims. That's where Diddy's going to be paid, going to have to pay seriously and be held accountable. And that's what's probably going to put him in jail for the rest of his life. Those claims survived against Diddy and Christina Coram. The judge did find plausible allegations that Little Rod was coerced into commercial SMEX acts via threats and manipulation. Okay? Now, she did dismiss the charges against Combs Global. That's his business entity, but not Diddy personally. Diddy is still on the line. He's still on the line personally. And again, we got to look at the judge. Again, it's what the judge is, thy will be done. But let me just say, how can you say that he was coerced into commercial SMEX acts via threats and manipulation, but the government is saying that he runs a RICO thing through coercion? But you know what? Whatever. The state tort claims of sexual assault and premise liability. The sexual assault charges survive against Diddy. The premise liability claims survive against Diddy relating to assaults by third parties, okay? Cuba Gooding Jr. and the other guy, the judge wants them to be served. Great. And again, they are saying that the emotional distress claims are dismissed for lacking specifics. Again, I think the judge is being too narrow, but it doesn't matter. You got him on the SMEX trafficking for federal. That's going to be heavy buku money. And who cares if Diddy's companies were dismissed? Diddy is on the line. And again, KK's on the line too. State tort claims of SA, that also survives. Okay? These are the strengths. Again, I just want to say it. The SMEX trafficking claim staying alive is a huge deal. Don't let any Twitter lawyer with their, and no shade to Twitter lawyers because y'all know I love you. But I'm using that as an example because there's a lot of people that are trying to act like they are Twitter legal reporters and they're unbiased when they are literally doing spin very badly for Diddy's side and the powers that be, you know? It's funny, they say YouTubers do things for a click and a view, but imagine doing things just to get a text message because you want to get an inside, and every time you get this inside info, you end up looking stupid because every single time they predicted how a case was going to go, it goes the wrong way. Anyway, right? Anyway, the SMEX trafficking claims are staying alive. It's a big deal. Federal SMEX trafficking claims carry weight and could lead to real leverage or settlement pressure. Diddy personally remains a defendant, so the high-profile name stays in the case. And the judge did not toss out Rodney Jones' case. Several serious claims will move forward to discovery, documentation, production, depositions. Okay? And again, baby, a win is a win, but a loss is a loss. We call that. The RICO was dismissed. Listen, Tyrone Blackburn got one of the biggest headlines about the case dismissed. But the actual meat that's going to make Diddy pay, that he's going to be held accountable, baby, that's alive and kicking. Again, the judge did criticize Blackburn's conduct, including inappropriate and ad hominem attacks, schoolyard taunts against opposing counsel. The judge even reminded him that he's under, listen, at the end of the day, That's what Diddy's doing. That's what Alex Sparrow's doing. That's what Douglas Wigdor's doing. At the end of the day, judges can be haters. But honestly, at the end of the day, there was no sanctions. There was nothing but you just yapping, okay? And again, Diddy's enterprises were dismissed, but Diddy is still on the line. So baby, a win is a win. A win is a win. The essay, the trafficking, and I would say maybe this is part of a larger conversation, a way when men experience it, it's like, oh my God, what's the big deal? But if you put Cassie's name or Dawn's name or any woman's name on it, all of a sudden it's like, of course this is part of the RICO organization. But that's part of the larger conversation. At the end of the day, a win is a win. Congratulations to Tyrone Blackburn. Every lawyer, when they're suing someone, charges get dismissed. That's why they throw the kitchen sink. It happened to Douglas Wigdor. It happened to Alex Sparrow. It happened to Tyrone Blackburn. And it's going to happen to a lot of other attorneys. But baby, a win is a win. So forget what you read. I'm giving y'all my opinion. A win is a win. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll go live with the court papers if you want. I'm going to go live tomorrow. Sorry, I've been missing. But baby, a win is a win. Talk to y'all later. Bye.